This is a story of a middle-aged single woman who was staying with her only teenage son. She lived in a housing society that was in the outskirts of the city, with all the nature surrounding it. Feeling secure in the confines of the society, which had almost 100 occupants, long corridors, bigger flats, and only 3 flats per floor, gave her all the space and privacy she needed. The only time did the doorbell rang was in the morning for the newspaper and the milkman. While one bedroom of her flat was used as a storeroom, the other 2 were used by them. While the drawing room and the kitchen had a balcony, while her bedroom had a nice big terrace. It was all okay till one day some new occupant had started residing in the flat adjoining to her bedroom terrace. Now some might think, what could go wrong? The terrace was extensively used to dry clothes and gardening. While exercising her daily ritual walk, she started feeling that some shadow from the neighboring balcony used to stare at her. Being a homemaker, she did her daily routine in the morning and the evening of cooking food for her son and having an afternoon nap. After putting all the clothes to dry in the open, her son was doing his graduation and was available at home only after sunset. So here comes the day when all this started. She was out in the terrace and suddenly a red colored towel came flying into her domain. She would see the man behind this but didn't reciprocate, as she was afraid, not knowing what to do next. She quickly picked up the towel and came inside her bedroom. Now being in her safe zone, she started folding that towel to give it back later. Later she did her household work while waiting for her son to arrive. Finally the bell rang. She opened the door and with all the routine short talk with her son, gave him tea and biscuits that were needed. After some time, she came in his bedroom and started narrating the story. The kid was not at all amazed, but was angry with this. He had his story. Day before yesterday, he had returned the same red towel to the guy. Being an ignorant neighbor made him mad. The unusual part of the story was the door never opened, even after multiple rings and knocks. So what did you do with the towel? Asked his mother, to which he said, I just dropped that towel in front of his door and came back as an angry young man. He refused to return it. Now the only person to return it was herself. Next morning she went and rang the door. But this time the door opened with a tall man standing in his shadow, staring at her. It was an uncomfortable situation. She decided not to have an eye contact and came back returning it. She didn't even hear him say thank you or something like that. Now she took a sigh of relief that all this has ended accordingly. Working for her kid and spending time reading books, 2 days went unnoticed. Then came the day when again she had this towel in her terrace. No surprises that the same dark shadow was following her activities. But this time she thought of teaching him a lesson. She came inside and cut that towel into 6 equal pieces. Her anger sank in that activity, and there she was staring at him as if she has taken her revenge. To add to this, she tied all the 6 pieces like a rope and threw it in front of his door. While coming back, she noticed that the door didn't open even after her quick action of ringing the bell. Now everything was over. She had a good sleep that night. Next morning at 6, as she woke up, she noticed that the terrace door was open. But she thought it was her or her kid's mistake. All set to cook her breakfast. She was in the kitchen. Her son came along to help her. Both of them were busy talking when the kid candidly asked her mother about her long hairs and the funny red ribbon. She was totally freaked out by the words and ran towards the mirror to see that was it real or her kid had pranked her. Her son ran after her. To her dismay, it was real, and the red ribbon was exactly as the red towel. Her son asked why she was wearing this. This made her to reveal her act the day before. Both of them were really nervous about this freaking incident, and the son was reluctant to leave her alone, but she made him agree to go to his college. That afternoon, again, something happened. She had the same 6 pieces in her terrace. Not knowing what to do, she picked up the pieces to her bedroom. All day long she kept gazing to infinity through her drawing room balcony, thinking about her loneliness and her behavior of seeing things differently. It was all mixed emotion of guilt, loneliness, or maybe having newly grown soft corner for the stranger. She intentionally kept that pieces on the dining table so that her son could see it. Her son came back, and as expected, he asked her today's story. She narrated the whole thing. While she was narrating, the curious kid picked up the pieces, but this time it was something else stored for them. The towel was new as before, with no cuts and bruises, as if her touch has glued them again. Her mind was thinking in many ways, but as soon as her kid felt disgusting about this event, she thought of putting an end to this once for all. Next afternoon, when the shadowy, unfriendly neighbor was in her sight, she burned the towel on the terrace in front of him, conveying him the answer he wanted.